really cool moment, right? But mind you, this camera's getting kind of old too. Ah, the doggy with his head out the window. If you wouldn't have seen that doggy with his head out the window. Law tonnage, I'll let him go first. I know the silver pellet could push him out of the way, but I don't like to show off either, so he's lucky. He's lucky. But anyway, I was talking about the Waxwing song and how crazy that's going to be if I can pull that off acoustically. I have an idea of how I'm going to do it. As long as I can get all the major standout parts in it. Like, I don't know what would be harder, the vocals or the guitar. You know what I mean? And doing them together, it's kind of like Extreme's More Than Words. It's a tough song to play and sing at the same time. It really is. Which I don't do too bad on that one, actually. I gotta redo it again, though. I did it live, and I did okay. But songs like that, you have to know them so well that, you know, like whether it's a cover tune or your own or whatever, like it has to become like autopilot to do it. Like if not, you miss words. For some reason, when your camera turns on, you just like your abilities go to half, right? So my goal is to learn this song, but like I was saying, like Mark Holcomb, that might be the song of his career. I know the periphery fans would be like, "Oh no, they got better songs than that." But when you think of the general masses, out of all their songs, what song would appeal to the general masses the most? It probably would be that song, right? Which is a song to be proud of, you know. I know they seem to have a tough time playing it live because it is a challenging song, especially for the singer. Maybe not so much for the guitar players, but for the singer, right? And the fact they got to carry an extra guitar just for that one tuning. That's why when I'm doing my triple hammer albums, okay, that looked weird the way he was walking the dog. Look at the cute little doggies. Huskies. I like huskies. was quite the looker, right? So yeah, all the teenage boys liked that song. There was no doubt about that because of the pretty girl, right? But yeah, like it's a song that he despised it because it's like, but I've done so much better than that. But that was the pop culture song. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the band Aqua with Barbie Girl, right? You have to be careful when you write a song that's meant to be spoofy, stupid, or like even just, you know, fun-hearted, to the point where it's like the masses, you're making it really digestible, meaning the masses will just naturally gravitate to it, because that can make your career, and then all your really good stuff, you know, goes to the wayside because people are, oh, I just want to hear that the catchy tune, right? So you got to be careful with that. The Offspring, they just put out another tune. It sounds like every other tune they ever put out. It still has that kind of Blink 182, you know, I always call it college punk, you know, like nobody really, it's kind of like Green Day and all that. But the Offspring, they put out some really deep thought tunes, you know, like their songs like Come Out and Play, I mean, that's about gang violence, you know what I mean? Gone Away, what a fantastic tune, you know, about, you know, guy's girlfriend dies, right? Stuff like that. Christy, Are You Doing Okay? You know, like, you know, a song about basically extreme, you know, like, you know, domestic violence and stuff. And depression and all that stuff. Really, you know, but wrapped in like a happy-go-lucky, you know, modern punk kind of sound, right? So all their songs, there's not one that really stands out more than the other, but like everything gets equal respect, right? So they didn't, you know, okay, what is it? Get a Job. Okay, yeah, that's their hokey, but it's still a fun tune and people like it, right? But it's not like their flagship song. You know what I mean? The Kids Aren't All Right. That song is just absolutely lyrically brilliant. You know what I mean? Like it's a great tune to begin with. You know what I mean? It's just so yeah, like catchy tunes, but make sure it's something you can live with, right? So I'm trying to do the same thing myself. We'll see what I get. Who knows what'll get popular for me? But I do some really stupid